Feels so much like scam. What? Like becoming a millionaire in 3 months? I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a solopreneur, I have no idea about how those things work, and now I'm gonna become a millionaire using AI. The only thing it is about is to save more time, to save more energy, to get faster feedback.
To do something though.
Yeah,
it's
to
not
do
just
things like quicker. Well, look, is it rain coming?
I think it's actually the pollution because of burning fields. I'm not sure it's rain. The last few days, sometimes you don't see anything in the morning. Like it's all fog. Apparently, but I think it's a legend. They're saying it's even coming from Chiang Mai, but I cannot believe it's coming from. I mean, how far is Chiang Mai? It's like 3 hours plane, no? From here, 1 hour to Bangkok and maybe 2.5 hours plane. But yeah, everything is possible. I remember in Singapore actually it's the same. It's just a few days, but when Indonesia is burning, you have thick fog in Singapore. You don't see anything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like rain.
No.
But it's the mist.
It's
the mist is coming.
Oh, that's a really good movie, right? You
Yes, highly recommend.
Highly recommend. Complex psychological plot.
Yes, like so many messages in there. It's crazy. It's so deep.
Maybe we just didn't get it.
Could be.
It's like people who don't like Avatar 2. I feel like they just didn't get it.
There are people like this? Really?
I think so, yeah.
So what is our today's podcast about? Did you have an idea?
I was thinking we could talk about, different work rhythms.
Work rhythms, okay, yeah.
Because I was talking about it today actually also with Nikki, and about how everybody has different peak and focus times. You also just woke up. I thought it's a good topic.
What? No. I'm a high performance individual. I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I do my morning routine. And
at 8 you already did like 3 hours of sport.
At 8 o'clock
3
I'm
hours
already
of
like
meditation.
I'm so far a mystery of, or like how to say, like if you think that if you want to be successful you need to stick to a certain schedule daily, like which other people tell you, like okay, you need to wake up early in the morning, like 4 o'clock, then you need to do your morning routine, then you need to do this and that is how you become successful. I think it's a good thing to orientate yourself if you really don't have any kind of like self-management and like self-discipline. But if that is not the case, then my rhythm changes so often. Like sometimes I wake up early in the morning and I start my day like 7 o'clock and I feel really good about it because like waking up with the sun is actually really beautiful. But sometimes life just doesn't allow it. So yes, as you said, last night again I was awake till 3 o'clock, 3:30. I think we finished up here around 9 all. So 9. I had like 6 hours for myself. And I actually reflected a little bit what it was up to say this morning on it. But when I woke up at 1:30 on it. Yes, I need a lot of time for myself. And if I wake up early in the morning, then we have Yaya in the kitchen preparing food and
Fede coming down. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. Then you don't have this time too much. And afternoon, usually like you're at work, she doing her stuff, and then the afternoon I have actually time to do the things. It's like it's always work related, but more like getting stuff done related. And then at night I have my creative session. I'm almost reflecting more on the things that happen and the things that need to be done than actually doing the things, because doing the things now goes so quick in a certain way. Like if we have an idea or if we want to do something, if you really then focus and decide, okay, this is the project that we want to get done. AI technology now, it's like it's so much quicker to get feedback and to process the whole thing that more and more it's even more important that you really know, like you give it like this fine tune in direction of like where to go, what to do, what to focus on. Because like as a small example, let's say from here you only have a compass. Your goal is it to go to Kopangan to Alkov, okay? And the only thing is you have a compass. If you align the compass like a percentage to in the wrong direction, you might not end at Alkov, but 100 meters next to it in another bar. Alkov now is really close. It's just like, let's say 9 kilometers airline. If you now take the whole world as your
or if you
play,
try to go to Koh Tao, you probably just miss the whole island.
Exactly. But if you take the whole world, for instance, and you say like, you know what, I want to go to whatever location 10,000 kilometers away, 1% of direction adjustment takes you like somewhere totally different.
I feel like that's how we discovered America and stuff like this, you know, because
yeah,
honestly, I mean, obviously we didn't know you couldn't reach the other side of the planet, but what they wanted to do is actually a totally different thing. And then they were like, oh shit, this land looks really big, like what's happening? And I think actually Australia was discovered by mistake or so, like, of course, because wow, it's like big, you know, as you say, if you put it like a little bit off.
If you don't know, could you discover it on purpose? Like
yeah, exactly. It's impossible. Like I'm gonna discover this new continent nobody has ever heard of. We don't know if it exists.
But we know already it's called Australia, and it's
exactly, and it's
it
there.
makes no sense. It's just like everything in a certain way. Like now with modern technology and stuff, nothing happens anymore. Like on accident. Like I believe that we have pictures of the whole planet Earth, and that we can actually see everything.
In space, in space exploration, we still discover things by chance.
Yes, because that is like the universe is like endless, so crazy. So the point, anyways, of the whole thing is a little bit. It really doesn't matter, like when you go to sleep and when you do your stuff, as long you are awake for long enough, and in the time you are awake, you're doing the things that you need to do, and you make sure that the things you need to do are the right things for you and that they lead you in the right direction. Then who gives a fuck if you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and do your stuff, or if you wake up at like 2 p.m. afternoon but you hustled like the whole evening from 10 till 4 a.m. and you get like so much more done than you would ever be able to get done like in an environment where you get like distracted all the time. Like I do not get distracted at that time. Even if I get tempted to look on Instagram or to look on WhatsApp or whatsoever, at those times there's barely anything happening, any interaction, because even then in Europe it's already like at 3 o'clock, it's already like turning like 10 o'clock or something. So you have like much more focus to just do the things you really feel of doing and get the flow running.
I remember, you know, also a few years back, it would be the exact same for me, honestly. Like I would work the whole day and it would be productive work, but also distracted in the sense that, you know, a colleague wants a coffee, clients are sending emails, then you have lunch, you have like so many input factors. You have friends asking what do you do in the evening, and then at some point after dinner, kind of the whole usual day rhythm fades away and you're just alone with your head and your computer, and so you can kind of deep dive and do like the deep work that you need to do. That's also, it was my rhythm for a long time, and now honestly I'm still working very hard because I actually like to wake up in the morning. That's a goal of mine that I set for myself. And so I'm really working hard, as you know, to try to have my routine and by a certain time be in bed and read. Honestly, in the last few days, sometimes when I'm on the screen after dinner, then it's difficult to stop because then I get back into this rhythm where I'm like...
Which isn't bad at the end, right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just, for me, it's a decision, more of a conscious decision. I like the morning. Wow. So I want to be, you know, awake in the morning.
Also, we do a little bit different work. Like I'm much more in the creative part of like visionary things, trying to put together the final dots of like small things in communication and find the right words and ideas and thoughts and put them together. I feel like we always have different kind of phases where we have different kind of focus to follow that certain direction at that certain time of your life.
Absolutely. And I mean, for example, you know, you also have like deep work phases and phases more of when you had your trip, I assume more of inspiration and finding and, you know, deep discovery in a totally different sense.
I felt really overwhelmed when I had my trip last year of like traveling through Europe and like...
Oh, I meant the one like before where the whole NTNK kind of
there was like 6 months of no work, of like, okay, I have to do this or that,
which is also work in the end, right?
It was
because
totally
things blossom out of it.
It was totally necessary, but the focus was there not of like getting things done, but really to get like an overview of how does the world currently look like, how does it work, what are the opportunities out there, and then like diving into it. And it was insane in a certain way, because before that I was totally in my bubble. I was like, when I was 16 I decided, okay, fuck that. It's like, I'm not going to become a basketball player. I had my injury where I twisted my ankle 180 degrees. The doctor said like, okay, you have never seen something like this before. 6 months of rehabilitation, and for me after that was just clear like, okay, it's not going to happen. So my focus switched in a certain way, and that happened already like as well when I was 12. Like till I was 12 I thought I'm gonna become a football player, so my focus was a lot on football. Still I earned my money with selling Kinder Surprising eggs. Then I threw to asthma and Heuschnupfen, like hay fever. I collapsed on the football field. My mom decided to take me off from football. I needed to look for another sport, which is indoor, and they're already like, okay, damn it, this is not going to happen. Then like not knowing like, am I going to be so good like in the next sport I'm going to choose, which was basketball. So I started to figure out like how to make money online, but parallel to that like building like my sports career in basketball. The focus was always, till I was like 30 or like 29 at that case actually, the focus was always to make enough money and build the necessary fundamental resources I believed I need to actually zoom out and then take time of like to decide what I actually want from life. So my focus was always like, okay, I found this niche in motorcycle helmets, let's push that out. I never actually even thought about like really putting focus on other products which I'm not feeling anything connected to. Like now thinking about it, like why did I not come up with selling water bottles and stuff like people really need? Why I didn't took the time of like thinking, okay, Amazon works, it's a new market, it's a rising. I'm selling motorcycle helmets, which compared to other products, not everybody needs a motorcycle helmet.
And also not every year. And
exactly. It's like, it's such a small niche. And I started with this small niche right from the beginning, while at the beginning, actually, there was so much more on opportunities out there. I could have decided like, okay, I know how to source products from China. I need to figure out what kind of products is like in most demand. I'm going to design and produce them, and I'm going to sell everything I can find on Amazon, becoming like a huge seller on Amazon. But my focus was like, okay, helmets works. Let's focus on helmets. Let's get that running, and it worked at the end.
Which is also great. You never know how else it would have gone.
Exactly. But yeah, then till 29, really like the focus was just like, okay, make money, make enough money so you're able to buy yourself a house, to have basically like to be able to buy yourself a house. Because I did not actually even know when I started traveling in 2019, or like started traveling, left Germany. I already traveled like I think 40 countries at that time, and then left Germany in end of 2018, traveled 2019 with Kevin for like 6 months, South America and USA. At that point, I did not even know if I want to have a house, if I need it, or if I'm just going to travel for a few years. But then after those 6 months, I kind of like felt like, okay, it actually is nice to have a place which, you know, it's set it up in the way you want it. Like, because before that, I also like I traveled and I went back to Germany. I stayed there for 2 or 3 months, get shit done like at my apartment, and then I left Germany again. I come back, get shit done, and even while traveling I do things, but really like focused and work and really like getting the things like proceeding forward was always like in the time when I was back home. And when traveling, I step by step more and more organized myself to make sure that everything worked, more than being focused on the experience, which then again are really beneficial for me to optimize my direction, change my perspectives and all that stuff. And in 2019 was really the first time that I said like, okay, now got employees for Amazon marketing, for servers. My business partner took care of IT. So in a certain way, I did not really have to worry too much about that everything is going to like crazily collapse. So I really were able for 6 months then to really like zoom out and have a look at what's actually happening outside this bubble I created for myself. And I was like, damn it, there's an education sector, like people teaching other people. Then I'm like, oh shit, there's like, that feels so much like scam. What? Like becoming a millionaire in 3 months? Becoming rich in this amount of time? Making 10,000? I took years for that. Was I stupid? Did I had not like, do I not know better? Or what is it? And then you do like all the research and you see like Web3, you go deeper inside again, and then there's another rabbit hole.
Oh, again, some people, they had mini moon phase right now with Pepe. I'm like, I saw it a few days ago, but you know, it's always raised like 200,000% in like a week.
Yeah,
But
it's
ridiculous.
insane.
Honestly, crypto, I mean, looking also now, I love crypto and we talk about it a lot and we will use it and it's fundamental, it's going to change the world forever. At the same time, I see comparing kind of the crypto bubble with right now the AI bubble, given it's way more complicated to directly kind of make money with AI, and I still feel looking at the Twitter trends and everything, we are in a little bubble, but at the same time the practical use cases in the immediate are actually bigger, right?
The thing is, you need to have like some fundamental background already that you can then implement the AI, and not just like, oh, you know, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a solopreneur, I have no idea about how those things work, and now I'm gonna become a millionaire using AI.
From today to tomorrow, just putting there some thousand euros.
You need some background, you need some experience to then use AI to your advantage, because at the end, the only thing it is about is to save more time, to save more energy, to get faster feedback.
To do something though.
Yeah,
it's
to
not
do
just
things like quicker. Like to not, for me it's so nice because I do not depend on feedback of people which are like highly experienced in certain fields of like, let's say branding, copywriting or so on, because now I have an AI which actually can give me the feedback and rewrite my thoughts and ideas in a way that I would not be able to write them. Which doesn't mean that the things I write are like bad, but I'm not a native speaking English person, so I will never get to a degree, or like I don't believe that I will get there without of like putting the time and effort that I don't want to put, like I want to experience life, right? And that I want to have it grown organically, if you want to say so. And AI can like, it just saves you so much time. So, but anyways, back to the travel, like I zoomed out and I figured out for myself that there's so many opportunities out there. There's like modern technology with all those automation systems, with all these tools, hardware, software out there. You can actually like optimize your life like so much. So I decided like, okay, let's zoom out, let's figure out what if, considering that everything is possible and that you do not need anymore to rely on huge powers to provide you with whatever you need. What would I like the life to look like if just like infinity is the goal? Like just, okay, it doesn't matter like when we get there, it doesn't matter like how we get there, because that is something that's going to evolve over time. It's just going to happen the way it happens. We are not in control there, but really to just make sure that the direction is on point and that you know why you do the things you do. And then all the journey started with COVID hitting and saying like, hey Nuri, you decided to go on a big journey, and like we just like closed the whole world because we knew that you want to go traveling otherwise, and you will not get that thing done if we don't stop you from that. 2.5 years in COVID, being here in Koh Samui in this beautiful home, while at that time like a lot of work and a lot
in
of
the
like,
beautiful pool most of the time, I could assume.
It's a crazy journey in a certain way. Starting all alone, the idea of like doing things with other people together, communicating it with different kind of people, getting so much like not negative feedback but disencouraging feedback, I would say. Everybody basically told me like, okay, you try to do everything, that makes no sense, try to do one thing, focus on a niche, and really like this kind of like minor thinking of, oh yeah, I heard that, I watched this YouTube video and they all say, yeah, focus on a niche. It's like, yes, I want to focus on a niche, but what if my niche is basically myself, and I'm kind of like now on a journey finding myself, figuring out who I am, figuring out what I want from life, and having actual interactions in life which give me the feedback that I need to then reflect on it and to evaluate, is this feedback from this person now based on, oh yeah, this person actually really knows what that person talks about and it's all based on experience, or is it just something like, okay, that is a belief that person now wants to implement in me, but I do not believe the same, so okay, fuck it, I can put that on the side. And it's not negative or anything, but it's like, it was so hard to find people who actually listen and try to understand, because yes, it was complicated for me, and Albert Einstein said once, like, if you can't explain it in one sentence, then you didn't understood it yourself yet. And it's so true in a certain way, because people always say like, you need an elevator pitch. Yeah, okay, maybe I need 3 years to find my elevator pitch. Could be, because maybe you need 3 years to find yourself and to figure out who are you, what do you want from life, and how do you want to take this journey on, you know?
It's interesting what you say, because I feel a lot like the same, in the sense that following the current modern wisdom it's all about finding your niche and being, you know, very narrow focused, and that's how you kind of grow and realize yourself. At the same time, I'm like, what if my goal, as you said, is working around myself and creating my freedom and happiness, and not just about, okay, you make money in this niche, right?
Exactly.
But that's the focus of most of the modern teaching and world and whatever. But I totally feel you where you're like, okay, maybe it takes longer. It's not like a quick fix, but maybe then I have a whole vision that, if realized, makes me way happier than just being in this niche and making a lot of money, right? You could probably just say, okay, we stop everything and just start selling surfboards and just focus on selling surfboards in the whole world. Exactly.
I made this test with myself, like this challenge to myself. I think it was 2021. I was like, okay, I tried trading before, it worked, and it doesn't work because I never really could focus on it. But let's try again with 1 month trading and figure out what I can do with $10,000. And my goal was like, okay, if I turn $10,000 and $30,000 in 1 month, I'm gonna buy myself a jet ski. So after 2 weeks, I earned $20,000 with $10,000 start investment. I was like, okay, that worked. I stopped again. I bought my jet ski and I was like, but I don't like to do that because it's like, it was so energy draining. So if I look at all my resources, time, energy and money, okay, money went up 20,000. Energy went from 100 to like, I don't know, 20 or something. And my time also went from like a lot of time to, fuck, I cannot use my time anyway for myself anymore, because with low energy, it doesn't matter how much time you have, you cannot use it efficiently. So people always, they look on money. They look on like, what do I need to do to make quick money? And I totally understand, because if you don't have the luxury of having money, the network, the people around you, the environment you need, so you don't have to worry about money, it is really difficult to...
It also drains your energy.
Really, it cannot disconnect from it, because you always have this fear of like, how am I going to buy the food or the water or whatever it is to survive on the level I believe I need to have the purchasing power to live a life that I want to live right now. As well, I believe like, hey, sometimes you just need to like cut down on a lot of things, cut down on food, don't go outside and eat outside, but buy your stuff, go to Aldi, go to Lidl, whatsoever, buy like as good quality as possible over there, fresh ingredients and so on. Learn how to cook, because processed food is not even cheaper. Calculation of the food nutrition in itself, it's already like much more expensive, because there's no nutrition for just like filling your stomach and then you have health issues afterwards. It's just like you invest wrong thing. And at the same time, it's not more expensive to buy good quality food, but then you need to invest the time to cook it. So you need to find your balance around that, and you need to make sure that you don't lose the overview of like, okay, I want to make money, but maybe I should also make sure that while I make money, I do not really compromise my health too much on it, because you will always compromise some things, but you should not compromise it too much.
You always live in a compromise, like saying that all 5 are perfectly aligned with your life vision. I mean, it's definitely an ambition, but at the same time, once you get there, probably some things you grow your vision and your ideal state for each of them, and then something is again in imbalance, because it's a continuous like...
And we grow up with this limiting belief, at least in Germany. I cannot speak for other countries, but in Germany always like, be happy with what you got. You cannot have everything. You cannot have a happy family,
such a bad limiting belief,
good relationship, good friends, a job you love. Like, be happy with what you got. It's like, come on.
And honestly, I mean, I lived in one of these families which got pretty torn apart by, you know, a dad who's very career focused. It's also kind of the role male model which was communicated by Hollywood for a long time, right?
Yeah.
You know, the man is always away, then comes home, is stressed, has a fight with the wife, and you're like, how can this be the ambition of us as humans, right?
Yeah, but Hollywood also communicate other things, and I think it's really also depends on at what stage of life you are, because you look different at different kind of movies. And for me, I never really realized that consciously. Like, you realize it for sure, and everybody will say like, yes, sure, it's like, it's clear. But really on a conscious level, if you look like Fast and Furious, for instance, or Marvel's things like Marvel movies and other stuff, it's always about family, about team, about doing things together, and not about like, oh yeah, like we have this successful family here and the father is going to work and the mother is at home and the children go to school. This is never the nice story like they tell and they build, but it's always when you have success and happiness and you feel like, wow, this is an exciting life or something like that, it's always about team and family.
Yeah, most important things, right? the people you surround yourself with.
And there's another thing, for instance, like it's also a disadvantage if you don't have money, it's more hard. But if you have enough money that you don't have to be worried about where to sleep and how to what to eat and stuff, I believe that it's much more efficient to take more time to do the thing you want to do than to go too fast. As an example, to evaluate this is, for instance, when let's say you want to launch a project, and then the normal education out there on YouTube, like most experts, they always tell you like, yeah, make this product and then launch it, and even if you don't have the product yet, sell it to the first like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people whatsoever, and then they take their feedback and then keep going and so on. But if you sell something, let's say you go out there, you have a product idea and you sell it now to 5 people, 10 people, and those people pay you money, so you solve problem for them. Now you need to go there and you need to invest time and energy to make them succeed, right? You build a certain responsibility towards those people because they invest basically their asset of money so that they can save time and energy and solve the problem they have. But now if you are not actually really ready to manage those people, because first you need to manage yourself, and if you're not able to manage yourself, how can you now manage like 10 more people and even have like a larger responsibility? Because then obviously, and I think we don't have to argue on this one, you have to invest some of your time in those people you now onboard and you want to solve the solution on. And this time and energy you now have to invest in those people just to get some money goes away from your resources that you could invest in yourself to grow personally and professionally and make things more smooth for you. So now you're in a situation where you're in a higher responsibility towards other people, which again can like be quite demotivating, because now you do not have the time you need for yourself to do the things you want to do. Your focus more and more switches to, okay, I need to make more money. As more money I do, as more successful I am. And then you get in this rabbit hole like, okay, now I make $50,000 a month, but fuck, so much responsibility to keep that running. But I cannot change this because I don't want to go back from 50 now to 5, because who am I then, you know? So in my opinion, if you can afford it, then you should really like focus on yourself and really try to optimize the way you manage your time and energy, like your resources in general, to build something meaningful out of that, and then launch it step by step in ways that you can control the additional responsibility you have, and you don't get like overwhelmed by, okay, now 5 people, 10 people, 100 people need my support, and I'm actually still not able to support or manage myself actually, you know? So there I have a totally different perspective on those approaches of certain experts and coaches out there, because they're all focused on money. They're all still in this matrix system of like, okay, money is the key and we all need it, and it's true, we need it because it's a value of exchange, and money is just a form of trust. We trust that if I go out there and I have 100 baht, I'm gonna get my chicken and rice. I trust in it.